Welcome to this solo episode where I engage you in what business sustainability is, and I open up an honest conversation around what that looks like and how you can take steps to build a business that is sustainable with consistent cash flow and sales. So I'm really excited in this episode to talk about what is sustainability, what that's all about, especially when it comes to business, because it's not just about, eco-friendly products that save our environment, which is great, by the way, but that's not just all it is. And what is the difference between the cash flow and sales in your business, how you can build a sustainable business, and my top tips to create a business sustainably. So let's get started. Let's get right in. So basically, what is sustainability? So basically, when it comes to business, like I said, it's not about the eco-friendly and all that stuff is great, reusable products and things like that. What I'm talking about is when you sustain something, you make it longer lasting. So we want your business to last. We want it to stick around. We want it to get results that are tangible. We want it to be successful, and we want that to be a constant. We don't want it to have peaks and troughs. We don't want to, nearly come to the point of closing. Oh my God, I've been there. We don't want it to, be something that has to stop because you're not getting the results you desire. We actually want it to be something that is sustainable, that creates a foundation, and then you can roll with that. And it allows you to make money, to grow, to scale, to do more things, and to serve yourself and your clients as well. So that's what sustainability looks like when it comes to business. It is about actually building a business that can sustain itself so that it's not impacted if you get ill. It's not impacted if you want to take a day off. And I see this quite often where business owners, and you won't believe how much I see it. And I bet some of you listening are guilty of this as well, where if you're ill, your business just collapses for the day. If you want a day off, you can't, because it's going to collapse for the day. Like, nobody's going to post for you, nobody's going to do the work for you. And in an ideal world, that is not what we want. So, for example, this is like instances where you're poorly, so no content goes out because you've not created it, you've not scheduled it, you've not automated anything, and your business cannot make money unless you're physically present. That is not what we want. A sustainable business should be able to run when you're not physically present. And this is like building to a point where if you eventually were able to or wanted to outsource things or hand it over so that it can still run, that you can. And let's be real, it takes a lot to get to that point. And I know this because my journey has shown me this. I've been in business 10 years, in two different businesses, two different industries. For the second time round, I'm only 3 years in, nearly, not there yet, nearly. And well, by the time this episode goes out, actually, I will have been in business for 3 years. And it's taken me 3 years to get this business to a point where I can hand things over. I now have a team behind me. So it shows that it is possible in short space of time. It just takes that dedication, that consistency, and understanding what sustainability looks like. So that is having your processes and systems in place. That is having regular cash flow, and is allowing the business to thrive even when you're not there, which is really, really important. So that's what I believe a sustainable business looks like. It's one that can survive and thrive without you always being present 100% of the time. And we all love this idea of not having to be on social media 24/7, not having to do everything all by ourselves. And that is possible, and it's possible without having to outsource to a massive team either. Absolutely, it is. So that's just something to think about. And is your business at a point where it is sustainable? Think about that, and what can you do, or what does need to change in order to get it to a place where it can sustain itself. And obviously you do still need to do some work. I'm not saying it's, create something and never work again, because absolutely we do. But how can you work a minimum? How can you make it simple is what I like to think about. So I want to share with you what the difference is between cash flow and sales. And the reason I want to share this is because this has an impact on your business sustainability as well. And it's something that I came across probably last year, and I was brought into awareness, and it's something I'm actually tracking myself in my business now. So I'm always honest with you. I always like to model, how I expect you behave, model what I'm teaching, and that I practice what I preach, and I absolutely do. So cash flow and sales are something I track, and I recommend that you do track. And they are very two different things, and this doesn't always become quite clear when it comes to business. So I'm going to explain this for you. So cash flow is the cash that's flowing in. So say you track on a monthly basis, which is what I do. That's the cash flow, coming into the business this month. That's the cash flow. It's the cash that's flowing in and out of the business. So your income, your outcome in that time period. Whereas sales is different. A sale is an individual sale. So for example, if I sell a place on my Sustainable Sales Mastermind, that is a £1,997 sale, right? Did I say that right? I don't know, whatever. That's the sale. That is the sale. That is the amount. However, that sale that month is nearly £2,000. However, the cash coming into the business that month, unless someone pays in full, the cash coming into the business is more than likely going to be around £100, £200, depending on the payment plan that the client has chosen. And so that's the cash that's flowing into the business this month. So that is how we can look at these different numbers and different figures in business in a different way that represent different things, because one is cash flow coming into the business, one is the sale coming into the business. So even though that cash is not present right now, it is going to be in upcoming months. And what this does is it allows us to see the cash flow for the future of our business and how that affects the sustainability of our business, because then we can track income, we can track expenses, we can plan, we can budget around what we know is coming and is going, and we can then make decisions based on that. We can invest based on that, and we can also understand the profit that we are receiving in the business, which all makes a greater impact on sustaining, because if we're not clear on that, how can we possibly know whether the business is going to sustain itself if we're not 100% sure on the cash that's flowing in? So that is the difference between cash flow and sales, and the power of tracking those two things in your business and how it has an impact on your overall sustainability. So how can you build a sustainable business? This is like the big question. And I see this a lot, that people are not sure and they don't even know if their business is sustainable. And often, and more times than not, if you're not tracking this, you're not going to know if it's sustainable. So my first to-do would be to track your income and expenses and make sure that you do have a plan for this, because planning what you are spending on and what setting some income goals will make a difference to the sustainability of it, because you're going to know how much it is going to cost to actually run the business and how much you need to bring in to break even before we even think about profit. That's the first thing I'd recognise. The second thing I'd recognise is what products you're actually selling, your product suite looks like. So product, services, what that looks like in order to determine the consistency of the cash flowing in and the sales that you're aiming to bring in as well. And how you can have and build a product suite that all work and run alongside each other to bring cash injections into your business on a monthly, weekly basis based off that scalable model that you've set. So think about how you can serve people in different ways. So for example, one-to-one in a group aspect, or maybe a lower ticket and a higher ticket. How are they playing a key role in your overall business model to kind of then create a strategy to bring that money in so that you can serve your clients in different ways? And that, I think, is fundamental to a business that is sustained, because having a variety makes a difference, but also behind a sustainable business needs to be a solid understanding and clarity around your brand and your marketing, which ties in together with your brand. And this mismatch I often see is happening in the online space. So obviously I'm successful with online stuff at the moment. I've been running an online business. That's what I've done for 10 years. And I am stepping this year into the in-person space. I absolutely am. But when it comes to that, I see a mismatch between the marketing that is happening and the brand and the connection between the two. and having that clarity and solidifying the foundations of the business so that you're going to get the results that you want. And I see there's so many gaps that have not been filled in a lot of businesses. And so when we can see these gaps, when we can fill these gaps, and when I say gaps, I mean some simple things such as having a customer journey, having a funnel, having a sales system that you can follow to attract leads in, grow your audience, nurture them and sell to them. All of that plays a part into building a sustainable business. So I'd say that's how you need to build, is through strategies and systems like that bring in the cash flow, that bring in the sales. But before any of that, having that clear, consistent message behind your brand, as well as tying it in with the product suite that works. So my top tips to create sustainability, which totally ties into what I've just said. First one, knowing your product suite and stack your income. So what I mean by stack your income is so that, for example, you have a service. So I mentioned my Mastermind. It's nearly £2,000, 6 months service. So that's 6 months. I know that I'm going to be getting paid, unless it's like an extended payment plan. But I know that 6 months of my year, I'm going to be getting paid for X amount of clients. So then what I need to do is take it to the next level and stack that income even further by having maybe an offer for a month long or for 12 months long, so that I'm serving people in different ways and I'm making sure that income is coming in from different places. And that's what income stacking looks like, so that you've got money coming from over here for this thing, money coming from over there for that thing. So yeah, how can you engage all of those together and stack your income with many income streams? Apparently millionaires have 7 income streams, but I think now more than ever we need multiple streams. My second top tip to create sustainability is, again, going back into what I've just said, track your income and expenses so that you know exactly what is coming in, what is going out, because then you're going to be able to see where you need to change things. You'll probably realise that I've done this in the past, where I've noticed that my expenses in a certain area are higher, but maybe I needed to invest more elsewhere that would create growth. So for me, that has been, I invested a lot of stuff in courses, masterclasses, trainings, coaching from loads of different mentors, which was what I felt I needed at the time, was filling a lot of knowledge gaps, which is amazing. But then this year I stepped into realising that my investment needs to be in my team and managing the business so that it becomes an entity that has its own stakeholders, so its own pieces of the puzzle that connects together, but everybody has their own jobs. And that's exactly what I'm building right now. But I wouldn't have been able to get that clarity without tracking my income and expenses, to then be able to see how sustainable the business was, to ensure, that there's enough money coming in to cover expenses, there's enough money coming in to pay myself, to ensure there's profit for future investment and expansion and things like that. Really, really important to think about. And then finally, my third and final tip around my top tips creating sustainability in business is to create a marketing plan. Failure to plan is planning to fail. I always stick by this quote because it's so, so important. Definitely create a marketing plan, because if you take a product or service, oh my God, I tell my clients this all the time and then they still do it. So please, please, please do listen to this key bit of information I'm about to say. If you have an amazing idea for your business, you're inspired to take action on, please do not do it and launch it in 2 days' time, because we need to do all of the things that I've just talked about in knowing your product, knowing that, how it fits into your product suite, knowing the brand message behind it, tracking, setting your systems in place, making sure that everything is ready and in place before you launch it, and then creating that marketing plan to back it up. So everybody who's in your world, who's a new lead, who you're already nurtured, knows why that exists and knows where it stands and where that place is, because positioning is so, so important in marketing. So don't just get this idea and think, yes, I'm going to do this and launch it tomorrow. We need to have a solid plan behind how that launch is going to look like, how that campaign is going to run, how are you going to put it out there, and how are you going to deliver it to your ideal client, and what that's going to look like, so that you can then implement and take the steps that you need to put that out into the world so that it can serve people to the best of your ability. Because this then avoids burnout, It avoids inconsistency, it avoids mistakes, and it keeps you organized as well, which obviously I'm a huge advocate for, but it keeps you organized and on top of things so that you are going to get more results because the way that can impact your businesses, it will affect your energy, it will affect your mindset, which will then affect your performance, and then that's going to affect your results. And we really want to keep all of those level and again consistent. So really think about the planning that goes behind what you're about to do in your business and also keeping focus with the plans that you've got. Like if you've got this new amazing idea, ask yourself, where does this fit in my current plans? How can I adjust my current plans if it doesn't fit? Or does it need to be now? Or can I save it for later? Because sometimes we get so passionate and excited about something that actually doesn't need to fit into our world right now. So it's really, really important to think about. So thank you for listening to me go on in this episode about what sustainability is. And I hope it has helped you open up the conversation a bit more about what it looks like and how you can take steps within your business to work on sustainability and bring in that consistency of sales and cash flow. And of course, if this is something that you need to work on and you need a lot of support around this because it sounds quite alien to you, maybe it sounds like I'm speaking a foreign language, but I was where you are at one point and look at where I am now. You know, you can do it. We can get organised. We can put these systems in place. And if that's what you want support with, then come and take a look at Sustainable Sales, the Mastermind. It is here for you. The doors are open when you're ready to come and join us in this program that is going to help you build a sustainable business that makes a consistent income. So thank you for joining me in this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. And my best advice to you is to go and implement what I talk about because trust me, it will get you results tenfold, time and time again. And it's tangible. Always learn on things that are tangible. And I'll see you soon for another episode.